Noah and his sons. The sons of Noah who went out of the boat were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham was the father of Canaan. These three sons of Noah were the ancestors of all the people on earth. Noah was a farmer, was the first man to plant a vineyard. After he drank some of the wine, he became drunk, took off his clothes, and lay naked in his tent. When Ham, the father of Canaan, saw that his father was naked, he went out and told his two brothers. Then Shem and Japheth took a robe and held it behind them on their shoulders. They walked backwards into the tent and covered their father, keeping their faces turned away so as not to see him naked. When Noah was sober enough again and learnt what his youngest son had done to him, he said, "A curse on Canaan. He will be a slave to his brothers. Give praise to the Lord, the God of Shem. Canaan will be the slave of Shem. May God cause Japheth to increase. May his descendants live with the people of Shem. Canaan will be the slave of Japheth." After the flood, Noah lived for 350 years and died at the age of 950. The descendants of Noah's sons. These are the descendants of Noah's sons: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These three had sons after the flood. The sons of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Gomer were the people of Ashkenaz, Riphat, and Togarmah. The descendants of Javan were the people of Elisha, Spain, Cyprus, and Rhodes. They were the ancestors of the people who live along the coast and on the islands. These are the descendants of Japheth, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. The sons of Ham: Cush, Egypt, Libya, and Canaan were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Cush were the people of Saba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Sabtika. The descendants of Ramah were the people of Sheba and Dedan. Cush had a son named Nimrod, who became the world's first great conqueror. By the Lord's help, he was a great hunter, and that is why people say, "May the Lord make you as great a hunter as Nimrod." At first, his kingdom included Babylon, Uruk, and Akkad, all three of them in Babylonia. From the land he went to Assyria and built the cities of Nineveh, Rehoboth, Ir, Kalal, and Resen, which is between Nineveh and the great city of Kala. The descendants of Egypt were the people of Lydia, Anam, Lehab, Naphtha, Patras, Kashla, and of Crete, from whom the Philistines are descended. Canaan's son Sidon, the eldest, and Het were the ancestors of the people who bear their names. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Arkites, the Sinites, the Arvadites, the Zemarites, and the Hamathites. The different tribes of the Canaanites spread out until the Canaanite borders reach from Sidon southwards to Jiran near Gaza and eastwards to Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zebon near Lasha. These are the descendants of Ham, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. Shem, the elder brother of Japheth, was the ancestor of all the Hebrews. Shem's sons, Elam, Ashur, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram, were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Aram were the people of Uz, Hul, Geta, and Meshach. Arpachshad was the father of Shelah, who was the father of Aber. Aber had two sons. One was named Peleg, because during his time the people of the world were divided, and the other was named Joktan. The descendants of Joktan were the people of Almodad, Sheleph, Azarmaveth, Jira, Hadoram, Uzal, Dilak, Obel, Abimiel, Sheba, Ophir, Havilal, and Jobab. All of them were descendants from Joktan. The land in which they lived extended from Mesha to Sephir in the eastern hill country. These are the descendants of Shem, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. All these people are the descendants of Noah, nation by nation, according to their different lines of descent. After the flood, all the nations of the earth were descendant from the sons of Noah. The Tower of Babylon. At first, the people of the whole world had only one language and used the same words. As they wandered about in the east, they came to a plain in Babylonia and settled there. They said to one another, "Come on, let's make bricks and bake them hard." So they had bricks to build with and tar to hold them together. They said, "Now let's build a city with a tower that reaches the sky, so that we can make a name for ourselves and not be scattered all over the earth." Then the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which those men had built, and he said, "Now then, these are all one people, and they speak one language. This is just the beginning of what they are going to do. Soon they will be able to do anything they want. Let us go down and mix up their languages so that they will not understand one another." So the Lord scattered them all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. The city was called Babylon, because there the Lord mixed up the language of all the people, and from there he scattered them all over the earth. The descendants of Shem. These are the descendants of Shem. 2 years after the flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he had a son, Arpachshad. After that, he lived another 500 years and had other children. When Arphaxad was 35 years old, he had a son Shelah. After that, he lived another 403 years and had other children. When Shelah was 30 years old, he had a son Aber. After that, he lived another 403 years and had other children. When Aber was 34 years old, he had a son Peleg. After that, he lived another 430 years and had other children. When Peleg was 30 years old, he had a son Ru. After that, he lived another 209 years and had other children. When Ru was 32 years old, he had a son Sirach. After that, he lived another 207 years and had other children. When Sirach was 30 years old, he had a son Nahor. After that, he lived another 200 years and had other children. When Nahor was 29 years old, he had a son Terah. After that, he lived another 119 years and had other children. After Terah was 70 years old, he became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Aran.